Hello, everyone. My name is Nick, and I'm the host of the annual live stream for The Cure to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute. They research immunotherapy, which signifies the hope of a future immune to all forms of cancer. CRI is extremely accredited and highly rated, meaning 88 cents out of every dollar donated goes to actual research. This year, starting on May 19th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we're fighting for the 6th year in a row to raise money for this amazing organization and this important work. Livestream for The Cure is all about the power of the indie creator community, showing that even small creators can make a big difference. We're proud to continue working to raise money and awareness for the potential to treat all forms of cancer with immunotherapy. Together we can make a difference. Learn more and make an early donation today at livestreamforthecure.com.
Are you ready to be scared to death? Join me, Scary Larry Dwyer, and the boys from Pint O Comics as we take you on a terrifying journey through Scary Larry's Pint O Horrors.
You know, I was thinking about getting a tattoo. It would drive my dad crazy. I should get you to design it. Maybe that's lame.
No, of course. I mean, of course, I would help you design it, not of course I think it's lame.
Okay. You know, I was thinking about getting it just here.
Yes. Good spot for it?
Or maybe here on my upper thigh.
Yeah, yes. Both great areas, places, and hard decision.
What's the wing place in Derby? You have a wing place that's famous too, right?
Yeah, man. Do Drop In.
Wings over Derby.
Do Drop In is ranked number 1 in Connecticut almost every year.
All right, I got to try that too. There's one in Plainville that's always ranked high that I've been to that's really good.
J. Timothy's is great.
J. Timothy's, that's
Timothy's
really
is good.
Those are
really
dirty
good.
wings.
The dirt wings, yeah.
Dirty wings, yeah.
Yeah.
They fry them twice, right? They're fucking
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
They're the best.
The thing with Dewdrop is, I'm not even exaggerating, Dewdrop has about 80 different flavors.
Oh.
It's and when I say flavors, I'm talking about like the ones you normally see, and then also peanut butter and Nutella. And like shit, like you're like,
let's just bail on this podcast.
Instead of you know how like you get like blue cheese, like they serve it with fluff instead. And dude, people swear by it. Like I've had a peanut butter and jelly wing from there, and I'm like,
I would eat that.
Oh, I like peanut butter and jelly wings. Yeah.
Well, I was just like, this sounds weird, but it actually works. Like
Yeah,
it actually, I would never order it. Like I would never order this myself.
I had peanut butter and jelly wings from Sliders once, and they were okay. But
Sliders isn't that
Sliders
good.
does not have good wings.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're not up there. All right. Well, I'm leaving all that in on the episode. I think that was fun.
Oh, we're recording.
Good introduction.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that in because you know what? We're just talking wings here. Welcome back to Pint O Horrors, Scary Larry's Pint O Horrors. My name is John.
I'm Lloyd.
And we got Larry. Oh, he's Larry. Hi. Laura, introduce yourself, please.
I'm Laura.
She's Laura. See?
with a question mark, apparently.
I'm Laura. I don't know what else to say about myself. That's just what it is.
Oh boy, the redheaded stranger herself. So we're here. This is week 1 of Scary Lar-MAY, where all month long we'll be talking about the last 4 episodes of season 2 of Scary Larry's Pint O Horrors. We're starting off with Deathgasm 2015, and we'll be moving through the rest of the month talking about some other movies. We'll get into those at the end. Let's get right into it right off the bat. Let's talk Deathgasm a little bit. July 24th, 2015. This is a New Zealand production. It was released on July 24th, 2015 in New Zealand as well. In the US of A in 2015, it came out on October 2nd. Written and directed by a guy named Jason Howden. He made a movie a couple years later that had a bigger profile here in the States called Guns Akimbo, starring Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe. I saw it it's a cool concept. I didn't think it was a great movie, but I did enjoy it for what it is. It's a movie about a society where social media and gaming are very interacted, and Daniel Radcliffe's character ends up with guns nailed to his hands, and he has to survive this real world game. Very hyperkinetic, very stylized. It's fine. It's not a great movie, but it's fine. It's fine. Laura, did you see it by any chance or no?
No, I put it on. I watched the first 10 minutes. I wasn't that I didn't want to keep watching it. I just never continued watching it.
I don't think you missed much, but that's okay. This Jason Howden guy was a visual effects artist before he was a director. He worked on the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. He actually worked on the Avengers, the Marvel one, not the Ray Fiennes, Sean Connery one from many years ago. And this movie here, hey, look, you got to say that because there was a movie called The Avengers in 1998. Matter of fact, the Marvel one is technically called Marvel's The Avengers. If you usually see anything for it.
But wait, but has anybody ever have you ever said the Avengers, and has anybody ever been like, wait, the Sean Connery one? Or
No.
the Marvel one?
No.
It's a
That's
valid
why I
question.
found that so funny.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It is a good question. I had to throw it out there. This thing was filmed in and around West Auckland, New Zealand. Very, very much a Kiwi production. All the actors, all the people involved. Lloyd, let's talk a little bit about the actors in this film. Who do we got in this thing?
Hey, you know what else he worked on? The Jason Howden, the very recent Beatles Get Back.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And that was made by Peter Jackson. So he must have a pretty good relationship with him still.
There. Yeah, so this one stars, I don't know personally any of these people. I don't know if you guys do.
No.
But the first one is Milo Cawthorne as Brody.
Yeah, good friend of mine.
Yeah. He's probably, out of all the people in this movie, probably the most famous. He's the guitar player in the film. He also played the Green Power Ranger in Power Rangers RPM TV show.
Yep.
He's got some other credits. He was in Ash vs. Evil Dead, season 1, episode 7, Fire in the Hole.
Yes.
Which is a great show.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They just put that back on something, and I never watched the entire series, so I have to.
I think it was on Stars, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Stars.
It was on Stars, and then I lost.
I think it went to Netflix at one point.
It's on something right now. I'm pretty sure.
Finish it because
I never finished it.
Yeah, I never finished. Yeah.
I will say this without ruining it: the third season is certainly the weakest of the seasons, and it got canceled without them knowing that there wasn't going to be a fourth season. That being said, the last scene in that series is as badass as almost any of the moments of, like, give me some sugar. But it's a classic Ash moment that, and the series, let's again, without spoiling it, if it had continued, the last episode of season 3 would have completely changed the dynamic. It would have been different, very much almost like how Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness are different. But the last scene is so fucking cool that it makes it's just so good. It gives me chills thinking about it because I love Bruce Campbell and Ash so much. And it's definitely, the season's still good. It's just not nearly as good as 1 or 2. 1 or 2 were really fucking well done.
Season 2, episode 2. It still comes to mind. In the morgue when he had her as a puppet.
With the head. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't think I ever finished the first season, so
It's so good. Anyone out there hasn't watched
I have a lot
it.
of good stuff to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Laura, you're gonna have to jump off now and just.
Yeah, I have stuff to do. I have pizza and rings to go get. I have that movie from before.
Sounds like you have a busy evening ahead of you.
Pretty much.
One more thing. Milo was also in Guns Akimbo.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Next, we have James Joshua Blake. I'm not sure. He's got 3 first names there. He was the badass. He played Zach in this movie. He was the badass bass player, shitty friend.
Or as I like to refer to him, Heath Ledger in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. As soon as he got on screen, I was like, "Hi, Heath." Like, where's fucking Julia Stiles?
That didn't connect, but now that you say that,
Totally. Yeah.
I also got a bit of a Gene Simmons vibe, and not just because of the face paint too.
Oh yeah.
In a couple scenes.
It's corpse paint, Lloyd.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's fucking corpse paint.
Yeah, corpse paint. Sorry about that.
Jesus
Big
Christ,
mistake on my part.
Please don't
Big
make me
mistake.
leave this fucking.
I'm sorry.
If you do, can you get us wings?
So this
I'm
guy,
gonna fucking get wings. I'm gonna listen to black metal the whole goddamn time. And
this
put
guy
fucking
has
corpse
about
paint on.
5 movie credits to his name. But he also was Thorin Oakenshield's body double in the Hobbit trilogy.
Oh, okay.
He is a uncredited water safety supervisor in Resident Evil Afterlife.
Oh, good for him. So he.
Yeah,
All right,
he had a
interesting.
little bit extra.
He's like Adam Sandler in The Waterboy, though.
Right.
That's some high quality H2O.
I just watched The Water Boy like a couple weeks ago. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's
I
Bobby,
love The Water
Bobby
Boy.
Bullshit.
Bobby, did you just make a joke?
Oh, yes, I did, Mr. Coach Klein.
But Lloyd, is there anything in your research that said that if you live in New Zealand, you got to work on like the Peter Jackson shit? Was it almost like in New Zealand?
I'm pretty sure the whole country was in those movies.
It is, yeah.
I think
when you are born, that's written into your birth certificate.
Yeah, like at 17, you have to spend 2 years working on a Peter Jackson project if you're born in New Zealand.
Yep.
Well, that's why they have
I did
universal
find
health
that.
care there. Like everybody shares everything in New Zealand.
Yep.
Well, there's only
Healthcare,
like
and Peter
46 people in
Jackson,
the whole country, right?
and
Like,
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi. Yes.
Right.
What did you spend time on? I was on King Kong for 2 years. It's like their wars like over here. You know, it's like I was in Nam. No, I wasn't in Nam. I was in Return of the King. I was the third gaffer on Return of the King.
Paul from the Countdown is listening to you right now. Just totally making fun of your accent.
Hey, he's Australian, not New Zealand.
God
I
damn
know,
it,
but he
Lloyd.
still knows. He knows.
He knows
the
a
difference.
New Zealand accent.
That's right. So now we have Kimberly Crossman as Funky Cold Medina.
Yep.
Nice.
Just Medina in the movie. Beautiful blonde girl, plays the girlfriend and pretty much kicks ass herself. Pretty good. She was in some soap, I guess, called Shortland Street in New Zealand, in addition to the Peter Jackson stuff.
Oh, you're missing something big. Did you notice?
What did I miss?
So it's funny because Milo Cawthorne was the Green Power Ranger in Power Rangers RPM.
No, did I
And
miss
Kimberly Crossman was the Red Power Rangers in Power Rangers Samurai. Yep.
Wow, I don't know how I missed that.
How many Power Ranger shows are there now?
There's a new one
27?
every year.
Oh,
every
really?
year. I don't know about the last couple of years, but since 1993 when the first one came out, and I don't watch. This is a nerdy thing I know. Every year they have a new Power Ranger show with different characters, and it's a different like Power Rangers Megazord, Power
What
Rangers
are they like?
Ninja.
Are they like Menudo
Right.
or something?
Yes, Ricky
Yeah,
Martin, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh, I did not know that. That's fun. Okay.
It's
Power Rangers nipple fight. So then we have a lesser known of these guys, Sam Berkeley as Dion. He is the nerdy blonde guy.
Yep.
What does he play?
The
Keyboard?
keyboardist. Yeah.
Are there keyboardists in like death metal bands, Larry?
No.
I don't. Right? No,
Oh,
no.
I
There's
don't think so.
They're not death metal. They're black metal, for God's sake.
okay.
But no, there is not usually a keyboardist, I wouldn't think. I don't think Emperor or Mayhem or Burzum had any keyboards. But
Okay,
whatever.
that's what that was my, not being like I enjoy some metal music, but like not being that deep into the like. There's a part in the movie where the Milo character, or I'm sorry, the Milo's character, Brody is explaining to Medina about like the different levels of metal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I didn't think that in the type of music they were playing that a keyboard necessarily.
Is that
fit
when he's
in.
giving her all the covers, like the CDs?
Yeah,
Yes.
when he handed the CDs. Yeah.
There's some pretty questionable ones there.
Yeah, he gave her an Anal Cunt CD. which
Anal
is
Cunt,
actually
yeah.
one of my favorite bands. I played fucking many shows with Anal Cunt. Seth Putnam, the singer from Anal Cunt, he's passed away now, but he was crazy. There's some great.
There's
Great
a
references.
cattle decapitation
Yep.
CD in there. Mhm,
There
that's one that
was. I
noticed.
think there was a agoraphobic nosebleed CD. There's a lot of crazy shit. in there.
I kind of think too, like because it's New Zealand and much like Australia, the word cunt doesn't have the same connotation it has here.
Right.
Like over there, like here, cunt means like something very specific, and it's a hard word. And over there, cunt is like, yeah, oh, you fucking cunt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
cunt
yeah.
is just a
Like,
person who's a cunt.
Yeah, it's funny if a 5-year-old says it over there. They're like, oh, she's being cheeky or something.
She called her uncle a cunt. What a cheeky little monkey.
Oh man. Then we have Daniel Cresswell as Giles, the drummer. This guy's funny.
I like this kid.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
He's good. There was a scene he had a bad taste shirt on. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
see that.
I didn't catch that. That's
Yeah, I was like, "Yay, Peter Jackson!"
oh, that's nice.
I think
Lloyd hated. That was the movie Lloyd hated. Lloyd hated Bad Taste.
Oh, I hated that too.
That was one. Yeah.
Is that the one you ended the watch parties on?
The very last one.
Because everything came full circle.
Yeah,
Dead
because we
Alive
started
was
with
the first one.
Yep. We started
Dead
with Peter
Alive
Jackson and we ended with Peter Jackson.
Dead Alive is like fucking like awesome, and Bad Taste is like
Awesome
what the
as
fuck?
well.
What the fuck's happening here?
Also awesome.
If I had almost one problem with this movie, so like, you know, it's about this group of friends that are, you know, they form a band, and we'll get into all that, is that in the first hour and 10 minutes of the movie, you don't get enough of like the Dion and the Giles character. And then you kind of get them towards the end again. I wanted it to be more of an ensemble, I think, with these characters, because when they first introduced them, they gave them these very specific personalities and kind of comic relief moments, and then those two guys kind of totally disappear once Zach comes into the picture. Yeah,
they fully backseat, no doubt about it. But I think that was the point, right? Like,
oh, totally.
Those were the first friends he made, and they're kind of geeky. They're not really his. Well, I don't want to say they're not really his type of people, because he's kind of a geek too, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a loner.
But then when he meets Zach, you know, Zach's on the same wavelength with him as far as metal and everything. And Zach's a stronger personality, so he gravitates toward him. And, you know, those two kind of, not completely by the wayside, because they let him join the band, even though neither of them are really good.
Right.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, because they are funny enough, and they could be. They prove it at the end that they could have been in the movie the whole time, because they can carry some scenes. But the movie was more about Brody and Zach than it was about Giles and Dion.
Stephen Ure as Ricky Daggers, the metal legend. Stephen Ure, not related to Midge Ure, frontman of Ultravox.
Oh,
I had to throw that in there. He had a lot of New Zealand projects, you know, just like everyone else there.
Sure.
And then the last one would be Delaney Tebron as Shauna, the brunette, lovely brunette.
Oh, the cult leader.
Yeah. She has a great little character arc, because, you know, we'll jump a little bit into it. As we meet her initially,
arc.
You know, she is the actual cult leader is this male character, and
Eon.
Yeah, and they have this scene where he has a couple of his hooded, like, you know, minions killing a guy, and you realize suddenly that she's been under the table blowing him the whole time. And you have this great moment towards the end of the movie where his whole thing is, there's this we'll talk about the plot of the movie, but he wants to be the vessel for this evil that's coming back to Earth. And you think he's going to be the main antagonist, and in a basically a form of like fuck you revenge, she kills him like in his second scene in the movie and says, fuck this guy. You know, now where's your gag reflex is what she says. She shoves a knife down his fucking throat, and then she becomes like the actual you know, vessel. the antagonist and the vessel in the film. And I like that. And
it was definitely a great turn.
Yeah, and there's my second favorite moment with her is at the end when her clothes explode off of her body. I'm just gonna go there. I'm
that's fine.
I'm gonna go there very easily. Like
they just exploded. God.
I wish that happened more often in real life.
Yeah, but hey.
Or when Brody had his fantasy up there on the peak, he looks down at the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give everybody the general idea of what's going on here in Deathgasm. By the way, if you want to purchase a DVD copy of Deathgasm at your local Walmart, you're going to have a hard time finding it. They do sell it, but it is not called Deathgasm. It is called Heavy Metal Apocalypse.
Oh, fuck
So,
Walmart.
so if you're ever at Walmart and you see a movie called Heavy Metal Apocalypse, it is just Deathgasm. Apparently they can't have the word gasm at Walmart.
It's not even a word.
It's not a word.
Yeah,
it's a suffix.
Well, it's a suffix, but
if that.
yeah, but you know what it points towards: orgs and deaths and all that stuff.
I guess.
So I guess I also won't be finding any anal cunt CDs at Walmart.
No, probably not.
It's gonna be called butt vagina.
No, not even that.
You know what my favorite anal cunt album is? It's I kind of like it when a lot of people die. That's my favorite one.
All right. So, in the film, Brody is sent to live with his ultra religious aunt and uncle and his cousin, who's a real bully douchebag. This is essentially Harry Potter so far.
Why is Brody sent?
Because this is one of my favorite moments. Is Brody's mother in a meth-induced fever attempted to blow and maul Santa Claus and was put into a asylum. I love that little bit. So Brody shows up and he is a true Hessian. He is head to toe dressed in black. He's got the concert shirts on, the fucking the black metal, the death metal, the whatever he's got going on. Long hair, skull cap, and he just does not fit in to this town of What is it called? Gray Point? They call it Gray Point. Gray Point. So we learn, he becomes friendly with Dion and Giles, and he's kind of an outcast in school. And his cousin and his cousin's fucking friend, who we talked about punchable faces a while ago. The cousin's friend, particularly, I wanted to beat the living fuck out of because I couldn't imagine a world where this kid's a bully. But so him and his friends kind of get bullied, they get pushed around. But he says that his one bright spot in Gray Point is a record store.
Yeah.
And Laura, he goes to the record store. Who does he meet there that kind of changes his trajectory and starts off the beginning of the bands that we're going to know as Deathgasm?
Well, he meets Zach. They kind of pretty much immediately recognize a kindred spirit within each other. They're flipping through the records, like trying to impress each other with.
I love that.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like it's not.
He pulls out a poison.
I don't know why. Yeah, that was funny. They're just, but like. Yeah, they're just like pointing out what they like in the music, and they like the same things, and it's a nice little meet cute.
It is a good meet cute, and I do love the fact that they're judging each other's taste. Like Brody goes through the stacks, picks a record up, and Zach's just like, ugh, and then Brody ends up pulling like, look what the cat dragged in, and they're both like, oh. So they meet the proprietor of the record store. And his girlfriend, who is the local psychic, because that's what you do there, is you have a record store, and the psychic also works there, right? She reads tarot cards and stuff like that. And they see behind the counter like this record. Did anybody remember the name of the band? Was it like
Hex and Sword?
Hex and Sword.
Hex and Sword.
Hex and Sword.
Hex.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the singer Ricky Daggers.
Ricky Daggers. And this is like this record's like a couple $100 behind the counter, and
because it's one of only 666 made.
Right, limited pressing. After the record was made, Ricky Daggers disappears off the face of the earth. But Zach claims to know that Ricky Daggers not only is not off the face of the earth, he's just living somewhere in Gray Point, and Zach knows where it is. So they go to the house, and they encounter a very Iggy Pop looking. Ricky Daggers, who's sleeping on the floor, and
he hasn't aged well. He
has not aged well. It's been a rough couple of years. And am I correct? He's sleeping with the record.
He's hiding it. Yeah, like
he's got his arms akimbo over it.
Yes.
Oh, Richard Lloyd, I like how you brought that around. That was good.
So they go in,
always circling around.
Yeah, I like it.
He wakes up out of nowhere and freaks out, and they kind of fight him off for a little bit. They stop, they start to talk, and they let him know, like, you've been outed. Like, people know you're here. As soon as he says that, you kind of hear someone coming into the house, and he knows, like, he's very much getting the idea that, like, he knows people are looking for him.
Yeah.
So we have this well-suited guy that comes in, and essentially, what Larry, what happens to this point? I know.
He's like, where's the papers? Or I don't remember what he's asking for. I know what he's asking for, but I don't remember how he puts it. he's like, "Where's the papers?" And he's like, "It's gone. Somebody broke in here. Somebody took it. I don't have it anymore." So this dude in the nice suit realizes that Ricky Daggers is now completely expendable, and cuts his throat for him. And
so what a gnarly scene.
ends. It was a gnarly scene.
It
was a good cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell he like pulled the hair back as he was doing it,
like nice and tight.
Yeah, there was some tearing. It was good. It was a good throat
You saw
cut.
the meat.
So now this guy who works for the main cult guy realizes that what they're looking for is gone. Somebody else has it, and then we end up back in Brody's. Was it Brody's bedroom where him and Zach are about to go through the record that they took
the
from
Hacks
Ricky
and Sword
Dagger.
record.
Yeah, well, what they think is a Hacks and Sword record, but they end up getting rickrolled.
They get rickrolled. They get fucking rickrolled.
Yep.
They open
Give you up.
They pull the record. They pull the record out of the Hacks and Sword sleeve, and it's fucking a fucking Rick Astley record.
Yeah, and he just fucking wisely just flings it across the room. But what also falls out is some very old-looking paper, which has musical notes on it and some Latin writing, which never is never good, right? I mean,
no.
You come across Latin on old parchment. Yeah, there was like a goat head. Like,
don't read it out loud.
Don't read it out loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Certainly don't learn it and play it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You should know better by watching The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Just anything. I feel like it should be common sense by now to not read Latin aloud. Yeah.
It's a dead language for a reason. We killed it.
I always liked it. Cabin in the Woods. Like the stoner is like, please don't read the fucking Latin.
Exactly.
He's like, it was fine with the other thing, but I'm drawing the fucking line in the sand. Don't read from the fucking book, okay? And of course, they immediately start reading. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's another genius movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
So now they've got the musical notes. I feel like I don't want to gloss over the fact that Zach was kicked out of school for stabbing a kid because he stepped on his King Diamond tape.
Oh, right.
Because
you're right.
I can completely understand this reaction.
So listen, Larry, I was reading a bunch of trivia on this. This was something that happened in Jason Howden's school. That a kid in his school stabbed another kid for stepping on, I don't know if it was King Diamond, but one of their favorite tapes.
Well, if it was King Diamond, I get
probably
it.
King Diamond.
You step on my Abigail, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, don't, or like an early merciful fate, like Melissa, or don't break the oath, like with King Diamond. I will fuck you up.
Let me qualify something, Larry. So we mentioned before that the paint that Lloyd mentioned that's corpse paint. Is that corpse paint in Kiss as well?
No.
Okay, so what is it? Is King Diamond in corpse paint?
No.
Okay.
Kinda. No. It's not really corpse paint until like black metal, like Mayhem and like Emperor.
Okay. All right. So once you get to a certain level, your makeup gets upgraded to.
Yeah. Once you're evil enough, but King Diamond's a legit Satanist, so I mean he is evil enough, I guess. So he can call it corpse paint if he wants. I don't know if it technically is called corpse paint because King Diamond is definitely not black metal, but. And listen, there's so many different genres, and he even tried to explain it when he's eating ice cream with his girlfriend. There's like, grindcore, and he goes through the whole thing. There's so many different things, but I did want to bring up that Zach, I feel for him because I would have done the same thing. And I also wanted to mention one of my favorite parts when they're bonding. Zach and Brody had just met and they're bonding, and they make the napalm and they burn the Hale satin into the lawn because they spell Satan wrong.
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Oh, there's so many. I've probably seen Deathgasm at least a dozen times. Every time I see something new, like I catch like some like little reference. Like I don't think I saw the Bad Taste shirt for like the first 7 or 8 times I saw it. Like, there's just so. I love movies that have, especially being a metalhead, like seeing like and hearing little things mentioned when they're talking about the band names, or like they're going through the records and I'm fucking pausing to fucking see what records are in. So great. And another great part is when they're trying to come up with the band name, and they come up with came up with toothed vagina.
Yeah, they harken back to our movie we did.
And here we are on fucking Scary Larry's Pint O Horrors.
I couldn't find a listing other than rewatching the movie again, but Toothed Vagina, and I think Cannibal Unicorn was one of them.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
16 S's.
He said 13 S's.
13 S's. And then what I thought was really funny was, and I noticed this when they said it, when they come upon Deathgasm, and one of the things I really like about this movie a lot, especially in that beginning first 15 minutes where they're setting everything up, is a lot of the graphics on the screen, like the notebook drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
And when they come upon the title or the band name Deathgasm, the movie is spelled normal death, D-E-A-T-H, gasm.
Yep.
When he says it for the band name on the screen, it's missing the A. So I thought, oh, they're going clever. The director said that because he did a lot of the effects in this, that he was trying so hard to finish this movie. He stayed up like 2 days in a row, and when he did that graphic, he misspelled it. And by the time someone realized it, the print had already been done. And he was like, fuck it. If people notice it, they notice it. And I kind of think that's cool. That, like Def Leppard almost or something, but he left it in there. He didn't make a big deal of like going back and having to change it.
I didn't even realize
I like in that scene too. After he said Deathgasm, Brody started going, oh yeah, or it could be, and then Zach goes, no, I already said Deathgasm.
Yeah.
He's definitely a type A. He's definitely type A personality.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a scene like, look, like these guys get together and they play the music that's on this parchment. Lloyd, what is it called? It's the
Black Hymn.
The Black Hymn. They play the Black Hymn, and essentially this is where this movie, and not making fun of it, goes full Evil Dead, right? They play the Black Hymn and they split a veil between Earth and the evil outside of this world, and all of a sudden, we're living in this essentially kind of Evil Dead world where people are coming back to life. Everybody's like kind of zombified.
Well, the first time was just sort of a trial run.
They didn't finish the song.
Yeah, they couldn't finish the song. So like they just momentarily turned his uncle into a demon, but he like switched back to normal or something.
I don't think his uncle was ever normal.
He had to say, like, knowing that his eyes were just bleeding for no reason that he could understand.
Yeah. Like Laura said, so they play the song, they don't finish it, and the uncle is turning into like a gory zombie, but because they don't finish it, he goes back to normal, but he's left with eyes bleeding out of their sockets. And I thought, boy, man, my eyes started bleeding out of the sockets. That's definitely a hospital run. And he just seems so like calm about it. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna. That's just not cool. It's not cool.
My day's ruined after that.
Yeah.
Like, I have to, just call it quits for that day.
We meet Medina in school, and she is seems to be dating his dickhead cousin. And one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie that I really actually loved was after the cousin, pulls some of his bullying shit, and he goes to take her out, and she essentially says like, do you think like I want to be around you after? Like, she calls him out on it, which in so many movies, like the blonde, beautiful cheerleader, whatever she is just going to be like the bimbo and go along with like the jock dickhead. And I really like the fact that like they make this girl a real character where she's just like, you're gross, like fuck you.
You know what the first one was?
Just drive me home.
You know what the first movie was that did that I remember anyway was what's her name, and was it Deborah Goodrich? And Just One of the Guys. When fucking Johnny Lawrence is fucking picking on him, and she's like, I'm getting real sick of this shit. And she's just like, I was like, wow, this is like the first movie I saw where like the bully's girlfriend is like fucking trying to shut him down. I'm like, that's awesome. So yeah.
Is not amused by the bullshit. Yeah. They do finally play the song, and they rip this world into a new era of fucking evil. At one point,
that was sick, man. When people like down the street, everyone's coming out of their house and they're puking blood into the street.
Yeah, just fucking a lot of good gore in this movie. There's a lot of good effects, practical, and some CGI, like minor stuff, I think, but a lot of good gore in this. Medina sees Zach, gives him a note, says, "Hey, tell Brody to meet me here." And Zach pulls the fucking ultimate dickhead non-bro move and tells her that he's not interested and ends up making out with her this whole thing. And we get a point to a point in the movie, and I want to see if anybody else felt the same way, because I felt like it was kind of projected, was that when the evil comes through, it's going to go to the most, what they said, evil person,
most evil person
the
in the room.
blackest soul.
The blackest soul.
The blackest soul, yeah.
Well, no, I'm not trying to.
The blackest soul nearby. And
Nearby.
They didn't really give any distinction of like what consisted of nearby. Like it was very like.
Well, the same thing
town,
with 3 a.m.
County.
Like, is there a radius?
Does it
like,
honor
is it
the daylight savings time?
That part was fucking great.
I love
That was
that,
hysterical.
Oh,
3 a.m. 3 Eastern Pacific. Like,
do demons recognize daylight savings time?
yeah, that was great.
Did you? I mean, I felt it, but did you guys feel like it was going to eventually be Zach because of like his treatment of Brody? Okay, I just wasn't sure. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was
So
that
who
obvious.
does the demon go into in this room?
Oh, the blackest soul.
Yeah, who's the blackest soul?
Well, Laura has red hair.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I don't have a soul, so.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Good call.
Oh, is that a thing with gingers? No soul? I didn't know that.
Have you never heard that?
No.
I've been hearing that since I was 10. So that's like
Wow,
really
so
been
no
beaten
soul.
into me.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, we know Larry is evil and disrespectful.
Larry is evil and disrespectful, yeah.
According to
Yeah.
Mr. Phillips.
I work retail, so I think my soul left my body a long time ago. So
I might be dead. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I don't have a soul. I think my soul is like just almost dead. So Lloyd, I think it might be you. I think it could be you.
Me?
Well,
Congratulations,
Larry.
Lloyd.
yeah. Yeah, I think Larry 20 years ago would have won it, but now he's like,
hands down.
Yeah. But now, now if he eats too much ice cream at 9 o'clock, he's throwing up at 3 a.m. So,
Yeah, no, hands down. 20 years ago, there's not even a fucking question. It would 20 years ago, it wouldn't have even gone into the fucking girl cult leader before me. Like I would have picked me over her. Yeah, totally. Drawing upside down crosses on my fucking religion final exam in Notre Dame. Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Dwyer.
Yeah.
Evil. And Laura, do you know the story? So one of the first times we had Larry on the podcast, we just discussed Larry, essentially. It was an old episode. And Larry, tell Laura about the evil and disrespectful, because I love the fact that evil comes first. Because like disrespectful is implied in evil as well. Like just say evil. Evil is the worst thing you can call a person, I think. I don't know if there's much worse that you could call someone in the world than you are. Like, imagine someone said to you that, like, out of seriousness, like,
he was serious.
Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was serious. Fucking, like my sophomore year at high school was just a fucking mess. I literally, not exaggerating, I had Saturday detention every Saturday that whole fucking year.
Larry was the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, except we didn't get to write fucking essays and shit. We had to do like work. Like they made us clean desks and dumb shit. But tried to get me to do fucking lawn work one week. I was like, go fuck yourself. I'm not weeding your fucking sidewalks. So then finally, like with 3 days left, like of this sophomore year, during my religion, I finished my religion final exam early, so I just started drawing upside down crosses and pentagrams and shit all over it. And Miss St. George, the teacher, was none too pleased and brought it to brought it to the assistant principal, Mr. Phillip, who called me down to the office. Now, at Notre Dame, everybody had to wear blazers and ties and shirts. I remember like plain as fucking day. So my blazer's tied around my waist. My shirt is open. I've got an Ozzy Bark at the Moon shirt underneath. My tie is around my head. My hair is too fucking long. They've been fucking yelling at me about my hair all fucking year. And Mr. Phillips is like, he's just holding my fucking religion final exam in front of him. And he goes, Mr. Dwyer, and he's smiling. He's happy now. It's like, you are evil and disrespectful, and you are out of this school. I'm like, well, there's 3 days left. I'm like, tomorrow's the trip to Riverside. It was Riverside Great Adventure now, Six Flags now, but back then it was Riverside.
Yeah.
Like, tomorrow's the trip. He's like, oh, you're making no trip.
No.
He's like, the only trip you're making is home. He's like,
you will not be riding the Colossus this year.
I don't think there even was a Colossus yet. It was just like fucking thunder,
was just
whatever,
the
the Black
zipper
Widow and the
You,
rotor, whatever.
you will not be getting one of those little keychains that when you look inside of it, you see a picture of you and your friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
That's a good memory.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
And I
So
commemorated that.
I did light a cigarette in his office though before I walked out. So
Well,
I
that's
did
how you
that.
have to
Nice.
leave. That's
Yeah.
the only way you can leave an interaction like that.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
after you're not got kicked off on a field trip, which is the worst fucking thing that could happen to you as a child.
3 days left in the school year.
Mhm.
It's like, all
3
it took was a
days.
bunch of upside down crosses and pentagrams.
You were just too evil and too disrespectful.
I love the fact that after evil, he throws disrespectful in there. It's just like,
yeah.
there's just no need for that.
You know what? Because if I had to guess, I would think he just had evil planned. But then when he saw how I was dressed when I walked into his room,
Right.
the disrespect
he had it all planned out.
follow. He's just like,
But like honestly, like here's how I would have said it. Mr. Dwyer, I have long suspected that you have an attitude. You're clearly disrespectful, but I'm starting to think that you may be evil. Like that makes more sense. I escalated it, right? I escalated it. This
I feel
fucking
like
clown.
You practice that.
Yes. Oh no, Laura. No, Laura. I always practice talking to people in disappointed fashion.
Is that
you
from working in retail?
Yes, you have let me down for the last time, Laura.
I work in retail too. I understand.
Thank you.
And if you go back and watch and try and find the old Motel Hell episode and the little art that came with that episode, you will see evil on one leg and disrespectful
Right.
Oh yeah,
on his other leg. Yeah.
He's got the painting. I'll send it to you later, Laura. It's quite funny.
Okay.
It's quite funny. All right, so now everything's falling apart. Zach and Brody are trying to get to back to their house and see if his uncle and aunt are alive. What's going on with them? They run into Zach's father at his. He's a mechanic at his shop. He is just walking into a wall,
banging his head on the wall.
And we learn that he's possessed. They have a big fight. They end up dropping an engine block on him.
I like, and Zach's like,
we check his pulse?
I think he would have wanted to go like this. He's like, with an engine for a head. It's like, yeah, I think he's good.
Yeah. Let's unwrap now. Back at the house, Dion and Giles come back into the picture.
Yeah.
And
oh god. And Dion's wearing those big Hulk fists.
Oh my god.
Hulk fist, that's his weapon.
Dion's wearing a Hulk fist as a weapon. Giles
has
a paintball gun that when he runs out of paintballs, he starts to use dice for role playing.
because Dion fucking not only wore his Hulk gloves, but he bought his fucking leather pouch full of D&D dice.
Yes. Yeah, these are.
He's like, why would you bring these dice to an actual demon apocalypse?
We didn't mention it early in the movie. These guys bond a little bit over some role playing, some D&D. So as they go to leave the house, they leave a note, and they end up running into Medina, who has at this point kind of become a little bit more badass. And they're going to go and they're going to try to get away across town. They leave a note on the door of the uncle and aunts as to where they're going. When Zach and Brody get there, Zach does his next little kind of like fucking what the fuck thing and throws the note away. Right. Yeah. So like this kid definitely is not a really good friend. When they get into the house, this is one of the most comedic scenes of the whole movie because we learned early in the movie that the uncle and aunt are these ultra religious types, right? Yep. And they run into the uncle and aunt at the house and they are full on zombies.
Demons.
So, demons. I'm sorry, demons. As they start to get attacked, they have to defend themselves, and they find a box marked church stuff.
Yeah.
So they pull it out, and I think Zach is like, what the fuck are we going to do with a box full of church stuff?
Beads. It was the rosary beads first.
Well,
right.
He's like, maybe there's some crosses in there that we could use to like keep them at bay or whatever.
Yeah.
Which
idea.
Makes sense. That's actually like a really good idea.
Yeah, these are demons.
Yeah.
We need
That
crosses.
stuff should work fine.
When they pop the top of the box open, what do they find?
They find a big string of black beads, probably 1 inch to 2 inch diameter. Yeah, they're just whipping them around, and he sniffs them a little bit.
What
are these?
Yeah,
I think these are rosary beads. No,
yeah,
they're full on anal beads. Really, really big,
old. Big old anal bead.
And then at least a 20-inch double-ended black dildo. Yeah, probably.
Double-sided. Then he tries to put in Brody's mouth.
He does. He's poking it out.
Yeah, he just like sticks it in his mouth.
But listen, I would have done the same exact fucking thing. I completely demon apocalypse or not.
Right, who wouldn't do that?
If I pull that fucking thing out of a box, I'm sticking it in my friend's mouth. There's just no fucking way I'm not doing it.
Well, this does.
And I'm almost 50. I would do it now. Like, I would do it now.
Your aunt's fucking double-sided dildo in your mouth by mistake. That's terrifying. But so yeah, they fight them off, and they have this incredible fight where they're just.
I love the slow motion fight when they
slow motion smacking them with these giant dildos, and then there's more. They end up there's more dildos and vibrators in this house. They end up finally. There's so many.
And they got everything. Also very effective as weapons.
As weapons. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're
breaking.
Holy. They're church. They're from church.
They're dildos. They're church dong.
I think I remember, I think it was Genesis chapter 3, something about church dildos.
Yeah.
It's definitely in there.
It was verse 69.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
a priest told me about that one.
Right. Oh, yeah, they will. Those priests will.
Yeah.
And he with the largest gauge of anal bead shall lead them to their salvation and or rip open their a-hole.
Like, the altar boys that walk down and swing the things back and forth.
I was an altar.
The anal beads and the big dildo. Yeah.
I was an altar boy. I had to do the incense. I had to swing the incense around.
Wouldn't it be more fun if you had anal beads?
It would have been. It would have been.
That sounds like a slogan. Wouldn't it have been more fun if you had anal beads?
Anything's more fun with anal beads.
Yeah. Everything's fun with anal beads.
I ain't never had this much fun since that time I played with anal beads.
with Father Jessup.
So that's all good. They kill the uncle and aunt. They finally get through.
Well, but the best scene.
That's what I'm getting you.
Well, hold on, though. Before you get to the scene with the cousin, where he eviscerates the aunt. Oh my God! Splits her right in half. Her guts just fall right out.
Oh, that's great effect.
She falls over.
And she's slipping on them.
And they're sticky.
Totally
and
amazing.
Slimy and that was good.
That was good.
And then we get to the best scene.
Talk about the cousin, Lloyd.
Yeah. So they've put aside these aunt and uncle. They're safe.
Who clearly were demons. Clearly
were demons. There's no doubt that the fangs and some of the camera angles were through the mouth, which was always pretty good as well.
Yeah.
And then the door opens, it's shaking around, rattling a little, and the door opens, and in walks cousin David. And he looks and he goes, "What the fuck happened here?" And then I think before he could even finish, Brody gets up with that chainsaw fucking right in the face, man.
Just takes off the top of his head.
Right off the top of his head.
Yeah.
And Zach looks at him like, "Dude, what the fuck did you do that for?" He wasn't even affected. He's like, "Oh yeah, it was. He said Satan. He said Satan. You heard him."
Yeah. He was not a demon. He's like, no, he was clearly a demon.
Clearly a demon.
Yeah.
His eyes kind of went sideways a little bit. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. They meet back up with their friends and Medina, and they decide that to stop this, they have to get back to.
They've got to get to
the amplifiers.
Yeah, they've got to. They realize that they have to play the Black Hymn in reverse,
right? Because the Judas Priest tape was in the car.
They don't realize.
Yeah.
They just assume.
They assume it. Yeah.
Probably
Yeah. Well,
they're jumping to conclusions.
Well, what's her name? The fortune teller was about to tell them that.
Yeah, that's true.
Until she got her fucking heart ripped out.
Yeah.
But you knew that that's where she was going with it, and then they, remembered that if you play like a Judas Priest tape backwards, so they figure that they have to play the Black Hymn backwards, and so now they've got to get their instruments. That's the next goal.
So they go to get their instruments, but at the same time, because Medina and Brody have this little bit of a issue between the two of them because he thinks she doesn't like him, it comes out that Zach is a piece of shit liar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he sees his jacket in her bag.
That's what
with all the spikes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great jacket.
Very, very distinctive jacket. Yeah.
I would have loved to have had that jacket back in the day. And I mean, we've seen it all along. We saw it from when, she gave Zach the note for Brody and he fucking, it's so disheartening. It's so sad. So yeah, Brody realizes that, who he thought was his best friend was a piece of shit to him the whole time, trying to steal his girl and, the whole fucking thing. And they get into a fucking fight. And of course, Zach wins that fight because, he's a much bigger, it's Heath Ledger, for God's sake. It's Heath Ledger from 10 Things I Hate About You. So
yeah, Zach is a big dude.
He's obviously going to beat up Brody, and he does. But he doesn't finish. He's got a chance to like really fucking nail him, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm fucking leaving. I never liked you anyway. He's like, fuck this world. I'm going to go watch it burn, and he fucking just takes off.
Yep.
So he's like, fuck it. We don't need him to fucking redo the song. We can do it without him. But then all the demons break in, and Dion and Giles are also. Dion gets
Billied from Predator.
I was going to say Mortal Kombat, but same thing.
Oh,
yeah.
The whole spine.
It was fatality.
Yeah.
Definitely a fatality.
Yes.
They ripped his whole fucking spine right out of his fucking, and then they take Giles, who I love. I felt so bad. Giles, first of all, let's rewind it. When they made their video, and they're all wearing fucking killer corpse paint, and they made Giles into fucking Peter Criss for kids.
Peter Criss.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Peter Criss.
Like the lines are all crooked and weird, and like they're just like lower on his face.
You're fucking Zach and fucking Brody look great. Dion looks okay. Dion's corpse paint is actually like the closest to like old style, like Mayhem corpse paint.
Yeah.
And then they fucking take Giles and they make him into Peter Criss.
And they make him carry his drums through the woods.
Yeah, he's like lugging his drums in through the woods. Like fucking these guys aren't even plugged in. All they got to do is carry the guitars around. He's carrying fucking cymbals,
drums and cymbals.
So poor Giles gets his arms ripped off, so he's done. So now it's on Brody to and the page is fucking.
So the pages end up getting blown out of the house through the neighborhood. Laura, there's probably like, let's say 10 pages. Mm-hmm. Would you wish that if like 10 pages that you were looking for that blew out of a window were that easy to fucking find?
I was watching this with my friend, and I even said that to her. I was just like, how fucking convenient for them to be able to, like, the wind blew. If something blew away, it's lost forever. If something blew away in my house, I would lose it forever. Like,
I would find 2 maybe on my best day ever in my life.
They would both be in a puddle.
Right.
Like, so yeah, no. That was honestly the most unrealistic part of the movie.
that was. Yes.
That's what it was.
And they are also out of basically most of their musical equipment. Most of them are dead. But they remember when they were at Ricky Dagger's house earlier in the movie, he had this incredible like amp set up inside of the room they were in. So they travel back there. Now at the same time, Dion, or what's her name? I'm sorry, who's the cult leader? She's Shauna.
Shauna, yeah.
Shauna and her men, the members of the heavy metal band Ghost, are heading back to that same exact spot. So they all end up there, and Larry, what happens at this point?
He's gonna do the fucking black hymn, but Shauna takes Medina hostage, right? And is like, fucking give up the pages or your little girlfriend gets it. And so he fucking gives her the pages and she tears them up into little pieces, and now they don't have the black hymn, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. This is where she starts reciting she's trying to incur and
chanting.
And this is where her if I remember correctly again, this is the point where her clothes explode
off.
Okay. I just want to point that out. If anybody hasn't seen this movie yet, her clothes explode off. I don't know if we brought that up earlier, but
no, it's good. It's a good part.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene. But what ends up I honestly, this is something I can't remember. What happens to her?
That's when Zach then he get her right through the heart. Like
Zach comes back.
Zach comes back.
Yeah.
So
this is when
Zach who had abandoned them, Zach who had fucked his friends over and then abandoned them and said, fuck you, I didn't like you anyway, comes back in full corpse paint now.
Right. Which I loved.
This is a point later.
Yeah.
So he left and then put corpse, which is probably not a quick task. I wouldn't, I put on makeup. My Miss Igfit's makeup every year takes like an hour,
Yeah, that's definitely like a production.
Yeah. But so he left and he put on his corpse paint but he comes back to save his bro because brothers in metal, right?
Right.
Like
Brotherhood of Steel.
So so Shauna. Yeah, she's about to summon the fucking evil, and Zach comes in, finds a sword, and fucking sticks it right through her chest as she's being possessed. Right? She's
It's
like
it's on the cusp of it, like Aloth.
yeah, whatever that demon's name was. They could have picked a demon with an easier name to pronounce.
Yeah.
He's like right in her, and like as I would like, and and Zach, stabs her from behind through the chest with a sword, which at first seems
nice
great.
Sword, too.
Yeah, and it seems great. You're like, fucking sweet. But now the demon's gotta still possess whoever's the most evil in a 44-foot circumference or whatever.
Similar to Aliens.
Yeah,
when Bishop gets it.
Yeah, and then immediately he starts getting possessed and turns into a giant demon head.
Yep. So now he's kind of the final boss, and Brody and Medina are the only two left to fight him off. And Manster
really working.
No, it's not working. Laura, where does this turn? How do they end up finally defeating the now possessed by Aloth Zach?
Aloth, yep.
Well,
Maylox.
Maylox, the nighttime demon.
Perfect.
So Brody starts playing just like a metal riff.
Just metal.
Yeah.
Straight from his heart.
He can't remember the Black Hymn well enough to play it backwards.
Mm-hmm. So he's just going straight to the metal, straight to the good pure stuff to lure his friend out of the body that is now entrapped by this demon. And it works. It works very well, actually.
Yeah, surprisingly. So
yeah.
Works like
he tames the beast inside of Zach, and but he's not fully back. Like Zach,
he's able to overcome
he's still fighting the demon. Yeah,
he brought Zach back into the forefront momentarily, but Zach's not strong enough to hold the demon off forever. So he tells Brody that he's gotta end him. He's gotta kill him. That's the only way. Which doesn't make sense because it would seem to me like he would go into the next darkest soul. But whatever. Listen, I didn't write this movie, and I don't have the rules. I don't have demon rules. So
there you go.
It's still more realistic than them finding all of those pages.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Maybe the demons have a rule that they can only go into 2 bodies per night. So
it could be. Like they have a.
There has to be certain shade of darkness.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's like, listen, you got to fucking kill me. So Brody removes the razor blade from his necklace that they used to become, brothers in metal.
Yeah.
And he cuts Zach's throat and kills him and ends the demon threat.
So we hop forward. I think they say, is it like 6 months or something? Brody and Medina are now like a live-in couple. Medina has like totally turned metal, and my erection went from a 6.5 to a 9.5 on her. Like now she's gone the other way, and I like it.
She's like schooling him on fucking Cannibal Corpse. I'm like, yeah. She's talking about Chris Barnes, who's a fucking prick, but she's talking. I was like, yeah, go fucking girl, go Medina.
So these two have their lives to live together, and as she leaves, we get a quick scene where the record player seems to you get Zach's voice from beyond the grave. Now,
well, you start hearing like the Black Hymn sort of music again,
right? And then Zach, kind of says like, he says Zach, and like, yeah, hey, buddy, or whatever. It kind of ends like that. Now, I stopped there. Am I wrong? Is there a scene after the credits? Okay,
yeah, there's
all right.
There's a post credit.
So what happens in the post-credit scene? Because I did not see this.
He's just talking to him over the record player. Right. He's like, hey man, how are you? How is it? He's like, oh man, fucking hell is sweet, bro. Just fucking hanging out down here with fucking cool people like fucking Dimebag Darrell and Paul McCartney. And I'm like, Paul McCartney?
Not even dead.
Apparently, according to Zach, he is. Obviously, it's somebody completely different. Probably John Lennon, but he has no fucking idea. That's
because remember, Paul McCartney supposedly died, right? Remember that whole Paul's dead thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Fucking because of the cover of
Abbey Road.
Record, Abbey Road, right.
And not only is he dead, he's actually in hell, too.
He's in hell, yeah.
Yeah. So that's really all it is. They just have a conversation about what hell's like, but it's a cute little scene, after credit scene. It's fun.
So we would have gotten more. We would have gotten a sequel.
I didn't learn that. I didn't learn that until recently.
Yeah, Deathgasm 2 Gormageddon was planned, written, and it was canceled by the New Zealand Film Commission. What's his name? Howden, the director, said that if you take the gore in Deathgasm, all the gore in Deathgasm would have been the first 10% of what you would have gotten in Gormageddon. It would have been crazy.
Wow.
And the New Zealand Film Commission was like, you can't make this. And he's like, if I can't make it that way, I'm not making it. So maybe someday, but we did not get Deathgasm 2 Gormageddon because apparently it was too hardcore. All right. So that is Deathgasm. You could find it. I think I watched that on Tubi for free. So if you want to check it out, do that for us. Why don't we discuss real quick before we rate this movie our favorite kill time, kids. Let's start with Scary Larry Dwyer on this one. What would you say is your favorite kill in Deathgasm?
There's so many. I mean, and you're not wrong with any of them. An engine to the fucking head, there's so many. But it's so easy to go with the cousin.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna. You know what? My favorite was actually his aunt and the double-sided vibrators to both heads, to both sides of her fucking head when he stuck the vibrators in both ears. And apparently, they're very strong vibrators because they killed her.
That's what you want down there.
Yeah,
turn them up to high.
Yeah, but after 5 minutes of them beating her with anal beads and huge double-sided dildos to finally kill her with 2 vibrators just really made me laugh. So I'm going to go with that.
All right. Manster, what do you got?
That was a good kill. Oh, man. So many. Like Larry said, I mean, I really want to go with the cousin because that kill is just such a great scene. It's so funny and so unexpected. Yeah, I'm going to go with the cousin. That was just, that kill made the movie.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. We'll let Laura go last. I'm going to say we didn't discuss it in the actual in the body of the movie, but the assassin that goes to kill Ricky Daggers, he gets punished for killing Ricky Daggers.
Oh, great scene!
So he ends up, getting brought into this room in this, very sterile environment, kind of like this. Like the main bad guy's boardroom, and the members of the heavy metal band Ghost have him kneel before the bad guy, and they chop his head off with a samurai sword, but they didn't put a tarp down, so there's blood everywhere, and the main bad guy's like, what the fuck, you didn't put a tarp down, you ruined my carpet, and they're like, they don't say anything, and then he's like, do it again. And these guys who are dressed like fucking lambs and fucking they got antler masks and hoods on. They pick the corpse up. One guy puts the head back over the body, and the other guy just kind of takes the sword and knocks it off again after putting a tarp down.
What's good about that is they never speak.
Right.
Everything they convey is just by their head motions.
Right.
You could tell they're flabbergasted that this guy really wants him to do it again.
Yeah.
And then when the head rolls, one guy just holds it on.
They kind of do the little thing with the hand.
The guy with the sword, he's just like,
he just touches it. He just touches the back of the neck, and the other guy drops the head on the fucking.
He drops it, puts it on the tarp,
and then he's just good. That's good, or that's better, or something.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. All right, Laura. What do you choose as your favorite kill in this one?
I'm gonna go with, again, everything everybody said. They're all good kills in this movie.
Just leave
one that I loved that was not brought up was the weed whacker to the dick. Lend to some good whacking off jokes, which are always funny. And I like that one. It's just, I don't know. I like a dick in a movie, so.
There you go. Owen, what's going on? All right. So we just talked about favorite kill time. By the way, that's a new feature we'll be doing on all the Scary Larry Pint O Horrors episodes going forward. Let's rate this thing. Hi, Jen. Eat a dry salad. Good night.
John said have a dry salad for dessert. Okay.
Yeah, she will.
Let's rate this thing. Pint O Horrors, Pint O Comics. Rules apply. 0 being the worst, 5 being the best, quarter and half scale optional. Let's do it the opposite way this time. Ladies first. Laura, what do you give 2015's
Oh, we got to
Deathgasm.
give it a rating.
Oh, right. What's the rating scale on this one, Lair?
These are let's use the number one track off of Cannibal Corpse's album "Butchered at Birth," "Meat Hook Sodomies."
Oh, excellent.
Oh, okay.
That's going
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going deep.
There were several mentions of Cannibal Corpse in the movie, so I figured Meat Hook Sodomy is a good.
That's a real visual right there, Larry. That's a real visual. Thank you. All right, Laura, 0 to 5 Meat Hook Sodomies, Deathgasm.
So I really like this movie, and I hadn't seen it before. Like, I've seen it a couple of times since then, but it was so entertaining. I'm gonna give this 4 Meat Hook Sodomies.
All right.
Okay.
I love it. Like, the gore is great. I think all the demons look really great. It's funny. Like, it has great kill scenes. Like, it's really great, well-rounded movie. So 4 Meat Hook Sodomies.
All right, Manster, what do you give it?
Yeah, this movie's great. I saw it, I think at Larry's suggestion maybe several years ago. So I watched it a few years back, and I've watched it about 3 times, I think, since then. Yeah, this movie's great. It's very entertaining. It mixes, the movie's got heart. It's not just a gory movie. It's got heart, and it mixes heart and gore and blood. And, if you're on board with the premise of the movie, then, you're just not disappointed. These actors and the director, they're fully committed, right? They just go for it. It's great. If you're a metal fan or a horror fan, you're absolutely going to love this movie. And I think even if you're not, I don't know how you couldn't like it. I'm going to give it. Yeah, I was originally going to give it 3.75, but I think talking about it made me like it even more. So I'm going to go 4.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Meat Hook Sodomies.
I'm going to do something very akin to what you just did, Lloyd. My original score will be jumped up a quarter of a point as we talked about it. I'm going to go to a 3.50. Solid, though. This is I think this is one that if I see it more, and I will watch this again, will probably raise a little bit because it has so much going on. Like you said, if you're a metal fan, there's so many movies out there that take fandom of certain things and get them all wrong. And I'm not a huge metal fan, but I feel like the makers of this movie, like kind of like Larry just said, like it feels like they actually knew what they were talking about, right? Like there's some movies, and I can't think of one off the top of my head where like, it just seems like, they don't get it right? You know what I mean? Like, and this one seems like they're getting it right with that stuff. The little bits like with the 2 guys in the record store, like looking at each other's choices, that's real life shit. You got a new friend, or you got a friend, you got a similar interest, and you want to fucking, you want to show off what you like and what you don't like. The actors are all good in this movie. Everybody does their job well. I do think I would have liked more Dion and Giles earlier in the movie. Even if the movie was 15 minutes longer and you kind of like got a little bit more with them in it, that would have made me a little bit happier. But yeah, I give this a solid 3.5. I implore people to check it out. It is a totally fun movie. Good gore, good practical effects. I think there's some minor CGI here and there, and it doesn't look bad. Nothing looks bad. And early in the movie, they do there's a lot of little things I like a lot about this movie. Like I said before, like early in the movie, like the drawings that pop up on screen, or like the scenes like when he'll play a metal riff or think about metal, and it's him on the fucking mountain with the girls making it out. It's like it's just bonehead metal triumph right there. You know what I mean? So yeah, so 3.5. All right, before we get to Larry, I'll read off 2 from the patrons. Go to patreon.com/thepint, $2.50 a month, all kinds of cool extra stuff. Patrick McFlanagan, our buddy from New Jersey, says Deathgasm was a solid 3. So not a huge fan, but a solid 3. That sounds pretty good. Officer Mike Simonetta, 3.75. He says just a load of fun with 70s and 80s metal vinyl covers come to life. So that's what we get from those guys. Scary Larry, what do you give? Oh, and by the way, let me say it again. 3.5. What was it?
Meat Hook Sodomies.
Meat Hook Sodomies, yeah.
3.5 Meat Hook Sodomies for me.
How did you forget that?
Yeah, because my brain is trying to forget that. Yeah. Larry, how many Meat Hook Sodomies do you give Deathgasm?
Yeah, I love Deathgasm. You said it seems like they get it right, and they do. I don't know how into metal the writer director is, but he's got knowledge, obviously. Like even like there's a lot of small stuff he drops, like when Zach turns into a demon and fucking comes back and he's beating up on Brody, and he's like, I should have done my own thing like Burzum. It's a reference to Varg Vikernes, who was in Mayhem, one of the early black metal bands, and then quit and formed his own band. It's just him. He plays every instrument. So he's, just really like reaching for some of this stuff. And like, you've got to really know metal, or at least have read Lords of Chaos. So he knows his stuff, and it makes it more fun, especially for a metalhead, to watch something like that. I really like the movie. It's a lot of fun for me. Obviously it's a good concept because the Foo Fighters completely stole it for that fucking movie that they just released.
Oh, really?
No disrespect. It's the same thing. They find a old song written in Latin, they redo it, and everybody starts turning into demons. Like, okay, like
that's
I've seen
exactly the plot.
I'm like, I've seen this before. The only difference is this has Dave Grohl in it. All right, that's interesting. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I enjoy this. I own it. I watch it often. It's really a fun celebration of metal and demons, and there are two things that I really like. So for me, it is, like the song says, "Dead bodies give me pleasure." It is 4.5 meat hook sodomies from
Damn.
Ooh,
it's a good score.
I'm a big fan.
Score.
I'm a big fan. There's nothing in this movie that I don't enjoy. Other than like I get bummed every time Zach fucks him over, but I'm supposed to.
You always you want him to not do it
every time I watch it. I'm like, don't do it this time.
Don't do it, dude.
No.
But he always
give him
does.
the note.
He
Give him the
always
fucking
does
note.
it. Fucking Heath Ledger from 10 Things I Hate About You always does it.
I remember my dad said to me one time, he was like, every time I watch Heat, I don't want De Niro to get out of the car at the end. When he's like minutes away from freedom, but he's such a fucking, he's that guy that he can't let something go. There's I love movies that when you're watching a movie, it makes you go, come on, don't do the thing that I know you have to do because this was filmed 50 years ago and I can't change reality, all right. So Lloyd, give everybody out there where they can find us.
You can find us on any podcatcher, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, whatever. You can find us on YouTube. You can click that little bell, get notifications. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Pint O Comics, and on Instagram at Pint_O_comics.
Please come back next week. Scary Lar-MAY week 2. Lloyd is taking the week off, but Laura is back, and we will be talking about the 2010 Killer Tire film Rubber. That's right, Rubber. You got time to watch it. It is on HBO Max and I think Tubi. So check it out and come back and listen to us talk about it. It should be an interesting conversation.
Don't forget the Patreon.
Patreon.com/the Pint. And see ya. And I promise we won't ever say meat hook sodomy again.
Never.
We are leaving!